What's up, everyone? Hello again, it is Rude Dinosaur, and welcome to Wowhead Recap. Today, we got some really big news coming out from Blizzard about the state of Shadowlands and the release date regarding it. I'm sure a lot of you have heard already, or already seen the videos. Shadowlands is being delayed on the release date. I know there's a lot of varying opinions, we'll say, on this topic. I'll give you my opinion on it coming up here towards the end, but let's go through the articles on Wowhead real quick. So there it is. Shadowlands World of Warcraft expansion delayed until later this year. John Haidt, executive producer of World of Warcraft, has made a blog post announcing that Shadowlands will be delayed until later this year. To the WoW community, I want to let you know that we're delaying the release of Shadowlands to later this year. And while we're still in the process of determining the right new date to launch, we felt it was important to let you know about this change in plans as soon as we could. This was an incredibly difficult decision for the team, as we're eager to get the expansion into your hands as you are to play it. But ultimately, we feel it's the right decision for the game and for our players. Over the past several months of testing, we've made significant progress, iterating on and polishing the core features and gameplay of Shadowlands. We're at a point where the zones, the campaign, the level up questing experience, and the story we have to tell are essentially ready to share. We're excited by the Covenants at the heart of the expansion, and it's been a thrill to see Torghast take shape into a fun new kind of WoW experience, thanks in no small part to your input. However, as things started coming together and we've been listening to and building upon your feedback, it's become clear we need a little more time for additional polish, and to balance and iterate on some interlocking pieces, particularly those related to the endgame. Shadowlands is one of the most intricate expansions we've yet created. Oh boy, that's true. And while we've made great progress, the challenge of tuning the endgame was compounded by the team having to work from home. Blizzard has a commitment to quality. We believe Shadowlands will be something special, and we've heard from many of you who feel the same. We need this extra time to ensure that Shadowlands lives up to its full potential. In the meantime, we're excited to announce that beginning October 13th, we will be releasing the Shadowlands pre-patch, which layers a lot of the groundwork for the expansion and includes our revamped character leveling, new player experience on Exile's Reach, and a host of new character customization options. And once we get closer to Shadowlands release, you'll be called upon to defend Azeroth against the resurgence of the Scourge during our pre-patch launch event. Thank you for your support and passion, and for your continued help and feedback as we head towards the finish line. We'll see you in Shadowlands soon. John Haidt, executive producer of World of Warcraft. Okay, so overall, I think I am on the side of this is a really good change. This is a really big, and I'm sure it actually very, very hard step for Blizzard to take, to decide that they're going to push back a release date after they've already announced it. That tells me that they're coming from a state of, how do I put this? They're coming from a state of wanting the game to be good, as opposed to wanting to make money. Because this is a really detrimental thing to the money side of it. You know, especially since they've already, this is coming, only a week? 2 weeks? After they made that official launch date. But from everything that I've seen within the game, they're adding so many levels on top of this, you figure. On top of the fact they're revamping all of the characters. Everybody's getting all of this crazy stuff back and everything else. They're adding covenants. Inside of those covenants are different soul binds. Inside of those soul binds are different conduits. And then on top of that, everybody's getting all of these legendaries. Everybody's getting all of this stuff. And that's times 4. There's 4 covenants. Each covenant has the 3 soul binds. All of the different conduits. All of the different legendaries. And that all has to come together and make a balance. And everybody's been saying that the balance just isn't there. And I mean, those of you that have played WoW for a while, that's nothing new. But what I've seen from the team here, not even just about this article, but in general with all of the other changes that they're making, is that kind of for once, they're really listening to the feedback that they're getting from all of the streamers and from all of the beta testers and from the community as a whole about what's wrong and what needs to be done, as opposed to before, like BFA, they would just launch it and then deal with the problems later. That kills it, because like first impressions are everything, right? So if they were to release Shadowlands in the kind of broken state that it's in right now, everybody would hate it. And they would have to earn back that respect, or whatever you want to call it, from everybody once they finally fixed all of these systems and balanced everything out. I'm on the side of much rather would just have a fully finished, finely polished game released to us all at once. I know we all want to get in there and get playing and everything, but you don't want to play a broken game. So I am very proud of them for doing this, and I think it is an excellent, excellent decision. There's a little bit more that we'll read up on here, though. Another post, speculation on the new delayed Shadowlands release date. This is kind of like, we're not going to take it for too much. However, we'll read through it. Earlier today, obviously, they announced they're delaying it to late 2020. In this post, we'll speculate on what the new date could be coming based on the duration of past pre-patches. So pretty much what this does is it goes through all of the pre-patches and WoW history. Burning Crusade was 6 weeks. Wrath of the Lich King was 4 weeks. Cataclysm was 8 weeks. Mist of Pandaria was 4 weeks. Draenor was 4 weeks. Legion was 6 weeks. BFA was 4 weeks. Now, all I have to say about this is that this is kind of irrelevant, okay? The main core of why this isn't being released and why everything's taking longer is because of COVID, right? We're all sitting at home. We don't have... Having all of the game developers sitting at home is much different than having them all be doing a Zoom meeting and, like, having everybody in the same room, being able to work at the same computer side by side, like going through things together, is much different. And honestly, I think that's the biggest thing that everybody needs to remember, is the fact that this did happen in the time that they were trying to really get this expansion together. And anybody that is like mad or upset or whatever that this is taking too long needs to remember that the whole world has changed, right? But with that same thing, all of these previous 4 weeks, 6 weeks, 4 weeks, I would kind of take that with a grain of salt, honestly, because this is not the same circumstance that all of these expansions were in. But let's look at the rest of the article. This one says Shadowlands in late November, ? With Shadowlands pre-patch launching on October 13th, 4 weeks of the pre-patch would put the expansion launch at November 10th. In 6 weeks at November 24th. As the Shadowland pre-patch has massive system changes for leveling and character customizations, we tend to think the pre-patch will be on the longer side to iron out all the bugs and give the developers more time to balance covenants and in-game features. November 10th also feels too early, as pushing back an expansion is a big deal and the developers would have only really bought themselves 2 extra weeks at time. And would... Okay, so they're saying that it can't be the 10th, because why would they only buy themselves 2 weeks at a time, right? November 24th release date also lands on the week of American Thanksgiving, a long holiday weekend for many players, as many players took time off of the old expansion launch and may not be able to book more time. Oh god, I remember last Thanksgiving was, I'm a big Mythic Plus person, and last Thanksgiving was Season 3 of BFA, and, that was the best week on the schedule. That was the volcanic, bursting, fortified, and it was the pushback emissary. Not tides. Not... Anyways, that's irrelevant. But yeah, that landed on Thanksgiving weekend. Season 1 and holiday conflicts. If Blizzard wants to stick to the raid opening 2 weeks after expansion launch, the release date can't be December, as it would push Season 1 launch over the holidays. Blizzard historically shuts down for several weeks over the holidays, and many people have personal family commitments over the holidays. That's true, actually. So, it would almost have to be, if it was coming out in December, it would really have to be closer to Christmas, because everybody at Blizzard has to be active when that raid schedule goes live because of the race to world first. Everybody has to be there because if you guys don't know, while they're doing that race to world first, all of the developers are constantly retuning the bosses and rechanging everything as they see it. So they need to be working during that time. November 24th launch then means December 8th raid release with a December 15th mythic start date. While the first raid tiers are generally short, this timing could be a bit hairy so close to Christmas. However, with many in-person events canceled, transportation complications for World First race events shouldn't be as much of a factor this year. I don't know about that though. I mean, World First is still going to be a big thing, even if they're all from home. Although, and I can't even say that, like different places in Europe and everything are at like 100%. Everybody can go and do whatever they want to right now because they took more precautions earlier on. So, you know, I don't know about all that. This is what I should have reread these articles. So this is literally what I was saying. Yeah, Shadowlands in December, raid in 2021. But looking at the problem from another angle, what if the raid opens in January 2021, bypassing the entire holiday season? Shadowlands launch was promised for 2020, but the endgame raids aren't considered part of the launch. With the delays, players would then unlock more soulbind rows and craft more legendaries than initially anticipated. Oh, so this isn't saying what I was saying. So this was saying that they could still release it early, but then just delay the raid tier. Well, that's an interesting concept. If Blizzard is fine moving the raid back to 2021, then we could see a December release date for the expansion along with a longer than average pre-patch, buying them several months of time to balance Shadowlands endgame systems, and even more time for Mythic Plus and raid balance. All of these times are obviously just speculation at this point. Blizzard has not yet released a new date. So my guess on this is, I mean, they do want to get it out as quick as possible. So I do think they're either going to release it in late December, and then just the first 2 weeks of the expansion, where they're not doing Mythic raiding anyway, have that be over the holiday weekend, or the holiday season, and then naturally have a January 2021 raid release. Or they could do what they're saying here. However, the issue with them releasing the game early and then having the raid later is that they kind of tune that raid for exactly what the World First Raiders can do. So if they unlock 4 weeks, say, worth of Covenant abilities and being able to farm for 4 weeks instead of the 1 week that they normally get after Heroic comes out, that would kind of mess with the balance of the World First Raiders in making it a little bit easier than they intend it to be. So I'm honestly not sure what direction they're going to go in. And for the last thing we'll cover in this video is the pre-patch coming out on the 13th. If you don't know what the pre-patch entails, I'll go over a little bit of it. You can't obviously quest, but when the pre-patch hits, we will be level 50. Clash changes are a major part of every pre-patch, and the Shadowlands pre-patch includes a number of returning abilities, target cap on AoE, and some overhauls like Shadow Priest. And the pre-patch players will also lose access to their corruption. So this is what I plan on doing during the pre-patch, and I think it's a good thing for anybody to do. There's still some like testing that you can do. While you're not going to feel your characters at their full strength with Covenant abilities and legendaries and everything, what you can be doing is they are making major changes to just like the class's base kit. So I'm still going to be doing Mythic Plus during those weeks, and what I'm going to be doing is like seeing how the new Blood DK feels, seeing how all the new buttons feel on Blood DK, seeing how all the new buttons feel on Rogue, you know, seeing how the target caps feel in the BFA environment, because honestly, feeling that new target cap in the BFA dungeons, if you've done the BFA dungeons a bunch, is actually going to tell you more information. Because if you take the same character that you already know what it feels like in those dungeons, and then they set you to level 50 and put that target cap in, you're actually going to have a better idea in your mind like what the changes are, because you've done this dungeon hundreds of times, and now your character's changed. You can see how they really feel and how they really change, if you guys understand what I'm trying to say. Other than that, leveling in Shadowlands is drastically different. There's a level squish, placing 120 players down to 50, an item level switch, and a removal of heirlooms, or experience from heirlooms. Most notably, the leveling flow is completely revamped with a brand new starting zone from 1 to 10 called Exile's Reach, and then a streamlined leveling experience from 10 to 50. Chromie Time, in which players level through only one continent. So pretty much what happens with this is you can say, I want to level in Kalimdor, I want to level in Eastern Kingdoms, whatever, and you spend your entire leveling experience there. The Newcomer Mentor system allows veteran players to give friendly advice to new players. Old school crafted items can have their item level increased or decreased through a relic of the past, so they remain useful throughout the leveling experience. Hunters have greatly expanded stable slots, and numerous new tames like alpacas, elks, ponies, and cloud serpents, which sounds really cool. Unlocking allied races is much easier in the pre-patch as reputation requirements are removed. That's pretty big. Most races have received dozens of new character customization options, and they really have. I've played around with that a little bit. Barbershop has also received many customization updates, including the option to change your gender and modify your druid, bear, and cat forms. So that's big. Druid, if you didn't know, druid forms, how your bear looked actually used to be based off of what you transmogged your weapon to. So now if you want to change the way your bear form looks in all of your shapeshift forms, you do it at the barber, and then you can have a different whatever weapon you want to transmogged. New interface options include ray tracing support and motion sickness ability controls. Ray tracing is the new standard for graphics cards. Like I know my NVIDIA 2080 has ray tracing, so it's just a different way to render the game pretty much. All horse mounts, aka unicorns, can now fly. So that is all of the updates on Shadowlands release date and the pre-patch. This video was made on October 2nd, so all of this information is up to date as of October 2nd. How do you feel about the changes? How do you feel about are you okay with them making a later release date? Do you wish it would come out sooner? Are you glad that they're taking the time to fix the game before releasing it? Or would you rather them just release it broken, play through it, get your character leveled, and then them fix it later? Let me know in the comment section down below. This is a new channel, so let me know if you like videos coming out with this type of content. So just let me know in the comment section. If you could do me a favor, like and subscribe to this video, it would be a big help. Until next time, I'm Rude Dinosaur. You guys have a great day.